Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to the place to be each and every Sunday night. Where tonight on Top Split TV, we're bringing you round 4 of season 31 of Sunday Night Lights in the new Formula Fords from Snetterton, a resoundingly and overwhelmingly unpopular track, unfortunately. But the Sunday Night Lights crew have come out in force once again to support the racing here tonight. Strength of field of 53.5, which is great. Joining me as always is the chaotic one himself, Mr. Corey Steinhauser. Corey, mate, another big night ahead of us tonight.
Exactly right, Alex, and a track that should provide a little bit of chaos, something that's right up my alley, and not a bad strength of field either. Got 14 drivers in here tonight, a 53-52 strength of field, and we have some of the best talent in the world, including, Alex, a 9K driver.
Yeah, Adekoba Lopez. Lopez, a former professional license holder on iRacing, as he takes the grid now. Used to have that much sought after black license racing in the Pro Series. We used to see Lopez racing the skips quite some time ago. I remember him running hot in the season and a particular race at I think it was at Phillip Island where he came to the fore, but since then gone on to do other things. We found him though back in the Formula Fords here on a Sunday night tonight, which is great to see. 9K, that's not easy to come by, and having done a race or two with him this week, he's pretty quick, let me tell you. Anyway, he's car number 1, Tim Hendrickson, SNL no, he hasn't been a champion yet. Certainly won multiple races. He's car number 2 here tonight. Car number 3 now, Nagai, the Quali King. He's been dominating this week. He did a 56.4 in Quali last night, which is somewhat amazing. I don't think I've even done that in a race, let alone in Quali. So watch out for him, certainly in this opening stage of the race, and to be competitive throughout. Hikaru Sasaki is the second Japanese driver for Team NRS, of course. Sasaki in his usual green livery. He's car number 4. Takumi Yamato, who won what was almost the strongest race up until tonight. Of course, last night Takumi Yamato took that one out. Yours truly finishing behind the black car these days with the Sakura on it. Brett McBurney is car number 6 here tonight for McFlabby Racing, leading ANZ driver. No cowboy here tonight. Yuan Si Lin, haven't seen him for a while. He's car number 7. Great to see him back. Swift Cooper, apparently. Luke Whitten for Team Milo, the second ANZ driver in the field. Great to see him out there. Corey, as we do with the head clown himself, Vasco Sorofsky. I've said it often enough. You think I'd get used to it, Corey?
Oh, you'd absolutely would think that, but yeah, the team clown, boss man himself, Mr. Vasco Sorofsky, representing Oz NZ in the 9 car. Coming up as car number 10 is Hiroki Shoda from Japan, and he's going to be one to watch, I think, Alex. He might be down there as far as iRating goes in this field, but he's definitely very quick, and it'd be good to see him have a good result here tonight. Darren Tune from Oz NZ, making what's about his 4th start here with SNL, I think, and it's great to see him up there and having a crack. We have Kenji Kuroda from Japan as car number 12. A very interesting livery on that car. It's kind of a similar kind of design to what car manufacturers use when they want to try and hide things on the bodywork. And we have Mark Lay, International Man of Mystery for Team Clown Racing, as lucky number car 13 here tonight. And Mark will be out there looking for a really good result. And making his debut here tonight, Alex, the sleepy cat himself from Bellano, Peter van der Noord.
Yeah, you can check him out if you want a first-person view of the action on Sleepy Cat Racing over there on Twitch. And Peter van der Noord, I know I was chatting to him about half an hour ago, and he said he was wondering about SL tonight and whether or not he could sneak in. I said this would be the week, and look at that, he snuck in as the last car number 14. Here tonight, and he snuck in. Only driver under 4K actually, and it's a big jump too. So yeah, he's 1,000 shy of Mark Lay, who's car 13, as you said, Corey, and certainly hoping to make tonight a good one in his beautifully coloured Formula Ford racing. It's the first lap start coming in. Lopez on top at the moment with a 57 flat for his first lap, Corey.
Yeah, that's right. Hendrickson has now taken a second spot with a 57.2 as Sasaki has just jumped up. And the guy, the king of qualifying himself, pops it up onto the provisional pole with a 57.049, just pipping Lopez by, what's that, 6 thousandths of a second at the moment, Alex.
Yeah, that's a pretty tight margin. And having watched Nagai in the warm-up race, he actually didn't do any better on his second lap. So Lopez with a real chance of dobbing it on pole if he puts a good lap together. Sasaki not far behind there, just a mere 10th off the top spot on the starting order. And similarly, Hendrickson just 2/10 off, and certainly something you could make up in this next lap. And of course, Yamato himself, from memory, no, he didn't. Last night in the Japanese soft race, the Jack race on a Saturday night, I think he was second, just behind the guy, but only just, and certainly has some pace around here, particularly in quali, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. And speaking of pace and quality, I don't think we're going to see a faster lap out of Sasaki here. I just seen him drifting through turn 5, so that's going to ruin this entire lap for him. We won't see his time improve. As I'm currently looking at Darren Choon, he's heading into the infamous 9-10 Brundle-Nelson combination of corners. Such a difficult combination of corners to get right, Alex, as the main bulk of the field start getting ready to get onto the main straight.
Yeah, absolutely. Very unique to this circuit. It's now Lopez is our first driver coming across the line at the top of the standings so far. And what's he dropped in there? He's dropped in. There you go. A 50. Oh, only marginally better. Hendrickson's dropped one in quicker as well. And the guy's coming about to cross the line this time round. What's he done? Yamato up to the top. And the guy, all Japanese front row at this stage. I don't know that anyone's going to beat them. Sasaki didn't improve. And the guy locks out the front row with Yamato with a 56.8. Improved some. Nearly 2 full tenths on his second lap, as that's quali run and one. Let's go check out our grid for tonight. The big one tonight. Can it come up, please? Anytime now. I push the button. There it is. Round 4 for season 31 of Sunday Night Lights. Naoya Nagai, no surprise to some, sticks it on pole for Team NRS. Nagai Racing School for the 56.8. 10th behind him is Takumi Yamato for Team NRS, with the Japanese locking out the front row. Ade Koba Lopez, a 10th and a half behind, starts in third tonight. Alongside him, Team Torpedoes, Tim Hendrickson. Watch for those two to try and move forward, both with strong pace and aggression here at times. Controlled, all that such that it is. Hikaru Sasaki, the next Japanese driver, starting on the third row for Team NRS. Alongside him will be the leading ANZ driver in the field. Starting positions tonight, Brett McBurney for McFlabby Racing. Hiroyuki Shorter for Team NRS in Japan starts out as 7th. Alongside him, the second ANZ driver in Luke Witten for Team Milo. Darren Choon for ANZ starts out at 9th. Alongside him, the head clown, Vasco Sorowski for Team Clowns out of 10th. Yuan Si Lin returns to the series tonight, starts out of 11th. The second clown in the field, Mark Lay for Team Clown, starts out of 12th. 13th tonight off the grid will be the final Japanese driver in Kenji Kuroda for Japan, and Peter Vandernoord for Sleepy Cat Racing out of 14th tonight. Corey, big night of action ahead. We have 11 laps around the unpopular 300 layout of Snetterton and these great new cars. Lots of action ahead of us as they get underway.
That's right, Alex. Everyone is on the grid now. So the pulses will start rising, the revs are rising, and we're off and racing as Freg, the flag marshal, vigorously waves his green flag over the field, and down into turn 1 we go. 2 wide, most of the way down through the field still, but Nagai immediately takes the lead over Yamato and leads us through turn number 1, which is actually a double apex right-hander there, Alex, as they move into the very tight turn 2 hairpin.
Yeah, and the field looks to have got around there okay. Mostly, in fact, everyone's seemingly getting away okay. And we have one long string of Formula Fords as they come around side by side now. Witten and Tune. Witten will get the exit out of turn 3 okay, and he'll have the inside run into the second hairpin at Agostini. He looks to take advantage of that and gets the move done, or at least holds off Tune and moves forward in this field. No, he's holding position actually. Tune was attacking there, and Witten holds station there. Meanwhile, up the front, the two Japanese drivers looking to fly away with this one if at all possible. Hendrickson has made the move on Lopez and got it done, Corey, to move one forward in this highly and hotly contested field.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. The warm-up race was a little bit different to this. Lopez had actually put it on the front row and gotten the best of Nagai on the start. But now that Nagai's out the front and there's a couple of cars between himself and Lopez, this should really open things up here for Nagai as long as no mistakes are made. I say that with Yamato in a second. He made a small mistake in turn number 1 in the warm-up race, and he went from chocolates to boiled lollies very quickly, Alex.
Absolutely, mate. And Hendrickson now looking to get on the back of Yamato and looking to take advantage potentially into the next corner. We might just hop on with Hendrickson, see what he's got for us as we run up towards turn 1 for the start of lap 2. He's not close enough, and I don't think he's going to get it done this time round. No, indeed, he's not. Sasaki now coming under pressure from McBurney, who runs wide and releases all that pressure from the Japanese driver. The front 4 almost skipping away, but I can tell you Sasaki's got good pace here, and he closes under brakes into the first hairpin at Montreal turn 2. And as they come out and run up towards Palmer at turn 3, Sasaki is almost back on, and it's now McBurney looking. Oh, Sasaki runs wide. He does all that work I was just talking about to sort of skip away a bit from McBurney and get back onto the front 4. But it's the front 4. Oh, side by side now. Hendrickson makes the move up the inside at Agostini. He'll be having the inside run then into Hamilton at turn 5. Backs out though. Does not want to let Nagai, who we know lap for lap on pace, has got it as good as anyone. And Hendrickson, remembering that there's it's an 11-lap race, you're only on lap 2, plenty of time to get the job done, Corey.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex. It's not very often we see Hendrickson racing with a cleaner head than most, but definitely taking discretion there so early in the race as well, as we are only on lap 2. We've only got 1 complete. And here we go now into Brundle. He looked to the inside, didn't get the move made. It is a passing opportunity if you're really brave, but you really got to commit to the overtake to get it done before that right-hander at Nelson. As we now come down into turn number 12, the long sweeping right-hand corner of Coram. And then we'll make our way into Murray's to complete lap number 2. But at the moment, it just looks like this is such a hard track to make overtakes, Alex. And, these guys are definitely going to have to fight tooth and nail as side by side go Yamato and Hendrickson along the front straight.
Yeah, there we go. Hendrickson much further along this time round. Oh, yeah, he's got it done through turn 1. Beautiful move by the Dutchman as we... yeah, perfect. Oh, he's coming back at him as Yamato up the inside at the first hairpin. Look at the beautiful Sakura no Hana, the pink cherry blossoms on the Japanese car, but it'll be Hendrickson who gets it done through turn 3, retains that position, hard fought, but now there's a 1.1 second gap out to Nagai. Lopez now looking to follow Yamato through. Yamato breaks early into the second hairpin there at 4. Hendrickson gets loose and through goes Lopez, the 9K driver, taking full advantage of the mistakes around him. Cool heads prevail in this one. Yamato, amazing defensive driving there. Had fantastic work there to not only stave off Hendrickson, hold his position, but then taking advantage there was Lopez, who goes through on the Dutchman as well. Hendrickson scratching his head after that one, potentially now coming under pressure from Sasaki behind him, Corey.
Yeah, I think Henderson will be absolutely spitting chips. You see he's on a slightly more inside line than what Sasaki was. A little bit in defense as now Lopez goes for the move on Yamato to take over second, but Yamato's still going to fight up there, trying to get up his inside, almost contact, and that just checked him up a little bit, almost a move in the process for Hendrickson there as well. But now the 9K driver is in P2 with clear track ahead of him, Alex. And he's going to be looking at hunting down that 2-second gap now to Nagai.
Unbelievable stuff. Nagai cheering all the way to the bank. I wonder if I can get a view out the back. Hang on. Let's see what it looks like out the back. Look at that distance. It's all clear sailing for the number 3 driver tonight of Naoya Nagai. Nagai-san looking to run it on his own. Now Lopez is through. Lopez racing really smart there, honestly. Took advantage of the moves being made by Hendrickson. Hendrickson shows the nose up, almost gets tapped in the rear by Sasaki as it all checks up through turn 3. Fantastic driving in this one, Corey. The guys finally starting to find their feet in these cars and throw them around like the good old days in the skips.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. We're definitely seeing some Skippy intensity coming through the field now as these guys are all fighting tooth and nail for anything that they can get. As I said before, Snetterton is a really hard track to make overtakes on, especially for a car with no downforce at all. You can't exactly use the draft to too much of an advantage around here, even with Bentley Straight being so long. But you can see Hendrickson all over the gearbox of Yamato, just trying to look for anything that he could use to make an overtake, looking for any moment of weakness. And Sasaki goes defensive along the Bentley Straight. That's going to draw him side by side with Hendrickson. Hendrickson's going to take the title line on the right of the track, the left of screen for me, and into Brundle they go. And Hendrickson made the move stick very early in that piece, Alex.
How did he get it done around the outside of Brundle there? By the time they got to Nelson, this awkwardly unique section of track, you won't see this kind of corner combination anywhere else but here at the old Snetterton 300 layout. And Hendrickson does an amazing job. Very conservative that time, Yamato, in doing so, but he's possibly worried about Lopez getting away. Now, Lopez hasn't made much of a dent in Nagai's lead. Let's see what the lap times were as they crossed the stripe this time round. This one was a 56.8. He only pulled a 10th back, just over a 10th, Lopez. And with, what do we got? We're on the start of lap 5. Well, we might have time, actually. It's inside 2 seconds. Won't be too long if he's just hot lapping, that he might get onto the great Naoya Nagai for Team NRS. The name is Nagai Racing School. The name of our leader at the moment is Naoya Nagai. Nagai is showing us how it's done. Hendrickson now freed from the shackles of Yamato, who put on such a brave and torrid fight to hold on to position.
In the background, Alex,
McBurney's gone.
I think Brett McBurney's gone. He had a big spin.
Yeah, and I think Swarovski might have done it as well. Let's go check out what happened to McBurney. Oh, the rear's just gone, as it often does in these cars in the early stages. I think we lost Swarovski early as well. Let's go check out what happened to Vasco. Is the rear going to go? Oh, no, he's just copped a bit of the grass, mowing the lawn, keeping it nice and short for the folks at home. But McBurney now dropped down several positions out of that as we check back in with our leaders. Nagai now 1.83 and holding. He's holding off Lopez at this stage. We know Nagai can hot lap with the best of them. He's got great pace, and Lopez will actually be starting to think he's got the blue and orange torpedo behind him. Hendrickson taking the early turn in to Rundle and comes through Nelson a little bit closer, but he's got the 2 Japanese flyers behind him in Yamato and Sasaki, Corey.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex. And I just want to point out on that previous lap, Nagai put in the fastest lap he has for this race, and then Lopez obviously eclipsed it by a 10th. But just low-key, Hendrickson back there in third put in a 56.736 as well. Obviously draft assisted, but he was only 1/100th of a second slower than Lopez on that lap. So these guys absolutely pushing the limits as we're seeing them come through. And this time, Hendrickson puts in the fastest lap of the race, a 56.429, if you don't mind, Alex.
Yeah, decent clip around here, that's for sure. That time, Nagai and Lopez matching pace with just the 100 separating them in the favour of the Japanese driver. But what that draft has done is not only given a 4/10 best lap to Hendrickson, it's put him right on the tail of Lopez. Now, the question will be, how much patience will he have? Will he think that the speed's in the draft, or is it in the car itself? As we see in the background, I'll grab a look in a sec depending on what Hendrickson does here. No, he's going to sit. Peter Vandernoort on debut. He's had an incident. What's going on here with the Sleepy Cat Racer? I'm going to bet the rear's gone. Has it? No, yeah, there it is. He's lit it up coming out of the hairpin at turn 2, and unfortunately that's not the way he saw his night going, Corey.
No, definitely not, Alex, but I'm sure he's just glad to be here on debut for SNL because he's a really good bloke. He's popped into my stream a couple of times when I've been doing iRacing, so he's a really chill guy, and he loves to help if you seem to be struggling a little bit. I also think I just seen Vasco Sorosky make a mistake in the background of my shot there, and he's just lost a couple of positions, including one to 1C Lin, and he's dropped all the way down to 8th position now.
Oh, mowing the grass again. I don't know if that's his preferred line or what, but you see Lin going through there. Sorosky pulling straight back into the toe as we jump back to our leaders now. Looks like the head clown just needs to be a bit more patient on the throttle coming onto the back straight out of Williams. Now, Lopez, what sort of lap times we got this time? He seems a bit closer as they come up to cross the line, the start of lap 7. So, the guy, so consistent. I reckon he's within 100th each and every lap. That time, though, Lopez was a 10th quicker, and it was indeed Yamato setting the quickest time on the tail end of this field, with Sasaki tucked in behind him with a 56.4, Corey. Obviously, 2-car draft in front of him, but still these guys are getting around, and they're getting around fairly handy fashion.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex. And we've only got about 5 laps left to go in this race too, as we're halfway through the stages of lap number 7. And these guys are going to have to start picking up the pace here a little bit if they want to have a crack at Nagai, because at Nagai's current pace, I don't think they're going to make it, especially not with how difficult this track is to make overtakes on. And Hendrickson, he's not going to want to sit back here in third. We know Hendrickson, he wants to win every single race he enters, and third place just does not cut the mustard. He doesn't mind being first loser, but second loser, he doesn't do it.
I don't know if he likes being first loser. But Lopez made a little bit of an error through 7 there at on the exit of Oggies, and he's now under serious threat and takes a slightly defensive line. This time, though, Hendrickson says, I'd like to have a crack myself, please. And Lopez facilitates that, lifts a bit as they come into Brundle this time round. And, oh, the different lines there. It's so awkward just trying to get the slightest difference between drivers and lines. It can really upset the apple cart for everyone. Meanwhile, a bit further back in the pack, we've got a good battle going on now. Sorosky's couple of minor excursions have meant Lin is on the front of him and Darren Tune behind. Bit of a clown sandwich there between the 3 drivers there. Shorter, who's down 3 spots, and I know he was your pick to have a bit of pace here tonight. Unfortunately, sitting down there in 10th. Kuroda, who we don't often see here on a Sunday night, the final Japanese driver, down there in 11th. Final spot in the points tonight after that mistake that he made was Brett McBurney. And we've just seen a move being made now into turn 1 as Sorosky goes through on Lin and retains or returns to that spot that he'd had. He's actually up 3 spots, is Sorosky, as is Lin behind him. Darren Tune maintaining station where he started in 9th, Corey.
Yeah, that's a good job from Darren Tune. He's not really too experienced as far as the Sunday Night Lights circus goes, but he's been putting in some hard yards at the moment, and he's just been very consistent sitting back there in 9th, and you know, not letting anyone really ruffle his feathers there. But speaking of ruffling feathers, this front group of 4, they're absolutely all over each other right now, Alex. It's almost impossible for these guys to get away from each other as well, because they're just pushing so hard. You just see them every now and then dipping tires into the grass And you'd almost think with how much grass that they've been clipping here that they're running Hondas instead of Fords, and they're just getting the old lawnmower out.
Yeah, mate, and the guy's still out in front. He did a 56.9, a tenth slower than he had done the previous laps, whereas Hendrickson, the previous lap where he made that overtake up the back straight with a 56.6, but not enough to bridge that gap. It's still 1.7. The guy just hitting his marks lap after lap. His best is a 56.8.2, and I reckon he did about 3 of them in a row. Last lap was a 56.9.2, and the metronome-like rhythm of Nagai only upset by a single tenth, Corey. Fantastic consistency from our leader, the Japanese driver now, Nagai. Meanwhile, Hendrickson now. Lopez showing that he's no threat to Hendrickson coming in through turn 1. A 56.6 that time round for Nagai, 56.7 for Hendrickson in clean air, and in fact, he lost a tenth to the Japanese driver. I'm wondering if Lopez has noticed and he's going to make a move anytime soon, Corey.
Oh, you very well might, Alex, as Lopez is just one of those drivers that just has so much natural pace that I wouldn't be surprised if he will stick it up the inside of Hendrickson at some point in the very near future. But I've also noticed that Hendrickson and Lopez just going that slight little bit faster than Sasaki and Yamato. And just a tiny little gap forming at the moment, although it came all the way down in the braking zone there for turn 4. But we could maybe see these guys splinter a little bit in half, and Hendrickson and Lopez just get that little bit of a gap over Sasaki and Yamato.
Oh, yeah, Sasaki then very deep under brakes as he goes through Oggies, and then round now through Williams out onto the big back straight here, where is, normally on a straight like this, you'd be saying it's the best passing opportunity on the track, but then you're faced with that uniquely awkward set of corners in Brundle and Nelson at 9 and 10, and it is no one's favourite passing manoeuvre through here. You've got this awkward left and then this, you kink back through the right at Nelson. It's such a tricky section. I keep saying it again, it's unique. You will not see a set of corners like that anywhere else that I can think of. But Nagai now out to a 1.7 second lead, just holding it time after time as they come through again, another very unique section of corners through the sweeping bomb hole Coram down through Murray's now as they exit the final corner, coming up towards the clock there. Next lap, the end of lap 9, start of lap 10. And we see that time round, again, it was within 100th. The 56.62 the previous lap, a 56.63 for Nagai that time round, and a 56.67 for Hendrickson, only matching and not gaining any time on Nagai that time round. And again, the laps are starting to run out. There's only 2 to go, Corey. It's going to get busy here in this second pack anytime now. As Sasaki said, a 56.3, fastest lap of the race in a 2-car tow. Yamato looking to get dropped a bit, and I reckon these 3 here, I reckon Lopez probably has a crack this lap. They're not going to catch Nagai as soon as they start having a go, but they want to get as high as they can in the laps that remain, Corey.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex, but I don't think we're going to see a silly move out of Lopez. You don't become a 9K driver by making reckless moves. So he's going to be sitting here calculating things a little bit, but he's also going to have to worry about Sasaki behind him. And he's got really, really big brakes right now. He's going deep into just about every single corner. Didn't work out for him this time coming through Williams. He fell off the back a little bit, but he was right up the gearbox of Lopez going through turns 6 and 7, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, as the move's gone, they're side by side now. Lopez, see, I said it'd be this lap, and there it is through Nelson now, and they still get it done. Beautiful exit there we see from Lopez. Gets it done on Hendrickson and immediately opens a small bit of breathing room that'll probably see him safe potentially through turn 1, which is another very key passing opportunity with as they come around through the final sector for the final time, or the penultimate time through Murray's. Nagai now with a 1.6, nearly a 1.7 second lead. If anything, they caught him or matched him even with the overtake. Nagai crosses with the white flag and the final lap, Corey.
And Nagai will now make his way through turn number 1, smooth as silk, as he hasn't put a foot wrong this entire race. He's been almost robotic with the lines that he's taking, and that's why we see him matching his lap time almost every single lap. But the battle is still on between Lopez and Hendrickson for second. Hendrickson trying to find a way around Lopez anywhere he can get it at the moment as we go through the sweeping left-hand turn number 3. And coming up here into turn 4 is actually an overtaking opportunity. If you can get a good run out of 3, doesn't look like Hendrickson's going to have the pace for it this time, as we're about to complete this, I'm going to call it an infield section, honestly, because you could almost run this track as a pseudo oval, even though it's going to be a lot more than 4 corners. But these guys putting everything they can into it right now, Alex, as they're about to make the final chance of getting an overtaking maneuver.
Yeah, this time round it'll be Hendrickson looking to make the move. Will Lopez stay to the left? Looks like he will. No, he's left a lane on the inside. If Hendrickson wants to take it, Hendrickson says yes please. Lopez leaving the door open. Hendrickson walking through it at this stage. Oh, they're still side by side now as they approach. Oh, there's contact and Hendrickson's gone. Lopez continues and Hendrickson lights them up to come through, but Lopez has got through. Very tight and awkward through there. We saw that one live, of course. We won't go back just at this stage as we see Nagai now coming through. Comes through almost tentatively through that final corner. This time round, Nagai is going to take out a famous victory here tonight. Flag to flag on round number 4 of Sunday Night Lights. Lopez, a relatively successful return to Sunday night racing here, takes out P2. Hendrickson hangs on there for 5th, and a tight battle across the line now. Tune, Lin and Shorter. Sorosky's dropped off the back here. Kuroda. Sorosky then finishes down in 11th there. McBurney, after his big spin, was not able to recover too much there. Mark Lay, the other clown in the field, didn't see too much of him tonight. Crosses the line there in the same spot as his number, and unfortunately Peter Vandenoord looks pretty happy though. He's got the Enzo wiggle going on as he crosses the line to round this one out. Now that everyone's crossed the line, why don't we go take a look at our race results here tonight for round 4 of Sunday Night Lights season 31 here at Snetterton. Now in a guy, it's been a while since we've called him at the top step of the podium, but the top step it is, taking out tonight's, I think he got pretty much everything but the fastest lap without any draft to aid him, of course. Japanese driver taking out his first victory in quite some time. Ado Koba Lopez with that touch on Hendrickson. Interesting approach to defending around the outside, gives you the inside to that awkward right-hander at Nelson, and unfortunately the two of them unable to navigate it successfully, but Lopez comes away with P2 just ahead of Hikaru Sasaki for Team NRS. 2 Japanese drivers on the podium here tonight, and they'll be celebrating in style, no doubt. Just behind them was Takumi Yamato, the third Team NRS driver in the field, finishing inside the top 5, as was Tim Hendrickson, who was right up there for Team Torpedo all the way till that final exchange with Lopez sees the Flying Dutchman down there in 5th position. Luke Whitten, the leading ANZ driver here tonight. Not unfamiliar position for Luke. Of course, he does very well here on Sunday nights and has great pace. For Team Milo there, he's finished in P6. Darren Tune, possibly his strongest performance here on a Sunday night. The ANZ driver finishing in 7th. Great to see Yuan Si Lin, a Swift Cooper, back in action here tonight. He's finished down in 8th position, ahead of Hiroyuki Shoda for Team NRS. The Nagai Racing School Japanese driver finishing in 9th. 10th position tonight, his compatriot Kenji Kuroda for Japan. Head clown Vasco Sorosky's finished in 11th, just ahead of McFlabby Racing's Brett McBurney in 12th, rounding out the point scoring positions for Sunday Night Lights. The other clown in the field for Team Clowns, Mark Lays down in 13th, and on debut, Peter Vandenoord for Sleepy Cat Racing in 14th, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. It was some great racing all around there on what is, as I was saying all throughout this race, a very, very difficult to pass track. And, props also to Peter. Even though he finished in last, started in last, he put in a good effort there. He was not last for the entire race, and he put in his best effort on debut. Couldn't quite get there. And I also think you're right about Darren Tune. think this is his best finishing position so far in Sunday Night Lights. And, it's just a great race all round, honestly. These guys put in so much work throughout the week to get their pace up. And, they definitely put on one heck of a show here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. It's been Snetterton generally is a pretty unpopular track, and the guys have come out and given us a great show, which is fantastic. And once again, the community around SNL has come in and stuck by us and put on a fantastic show of racing here tonight. Very, very enjoyable for them, I'm sure. And as these new cars are just presenting a different kind of challenge week in, week out, as the guys try and test themselves in a different way. And we've had 30 season of the Skippies and season number 1, which is 31 of SNL overall, just presenting a different look for the drivers here tonight, Corey. Now, we're just waiting for any of our racers to come in and say g'day. And while we wait for the top split, I'm going to bring someone up. Let me just check how he went. I reckon he's done all right. He has. All right. I'm going to bring up Split 2 winner, the other clown in the SNL fixtures here tonight, Mr. Greg Adams, mate. You had a fair old run in the second split there tonight.
Yeah, we did. The clowns representing in B grade. So, yeah, no, good. It was a good run.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, looks like you had nearly a 5-second victory there. Was it a lonely one, or just stave them off? And one of the stalwarts of SNL behind you there, and Mark Jeffrey.
Yeah, Mark Jeffrey and Nicholas Marchese was also quite an antagonist. He actually qualified pole, but managed to stall at the start, which was a little unfortunate because he was fast. I tried my hardest to give it away to him, but managed to finish in front. So.
Yeah, nice work, mate. So a good night out of the office. Unfortunately, your counterparts in the top split for Team Clowns not faring quite as well. But that's I reckon that's your third victory here on a Sunday night, mate.
Yeah, I think so. I go right in B grade. Struggle a bit in A grade.
There you go. Perfect. All right, mate. Well, congratulations on the win in the second split here tonight. Thanks for popping in and saying g'day. Anyone you like to give a shout out to while you're here?
Just my clown brothers and you guys for putting up the telecast. I hope to get back up into A grade one day.
Well, mate, you weren't far off. Car number 1 in the second split. It was pretty close, but still walking away with the chocolates in the second split, mate. Well done.
Happy with that. Thanks, guys.
There you go, Corey. You know, where the top split blokes won't come and chat to us. The winner of the second split with a big grin on his face, Greg Adams, one of the clowns out there tonight. He comes in and lightens up the mood.
Yeah, absolutely. The entire Clowns team is just generally a really good bunch of blokes. And, it's always great to see them doing well. It's great to see Greg Adams getting up there and getting the win in second split, or B grade, as he likes to call it. And, soon enough, he'll be back in the top split, and he'll be fighting it out with Team Bossman Vasco Sorosky. And, he'll be putting on a good show, and we'll be seeing him in here a lot more often.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. He's been working hard at it off and on, and looks like things are moving in the right direction. Well, folks, that shy of anyone coming in and saying g'day, that might do us for tonight. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Corey, do you want to let the folks at home know what you got coming up this week?
So this week is going to be another Chocolates week. I got a lot of video editing to do starting tonight, actually, for one of my YouTube channels. And Wednesday, for the Aussie Sim Commentator channel, twitch.tv/Aussie_Sim_commentator, we're going to have the next gen NASCARs running around the Lucas Oil Raceway, which is a very small, high lane dominated track. So it should be a little bit interesting. And we actually have a custom setup for that one as well. So that's just to make it a little bit more interesting. And then on Saturday, if you guys have Facebook, which I know is a bit of a boomer thing these days, but I'm a bit of a boomer, I will be live streaming the West Coast Outlaw Karts from the Pinjar Park Raceway over there on the Facebook page, and that should be starting from about 5 p.m. Western Australian time, which will make it about 7 p.m. on Alex's watch. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. and then be back here next week, Alex, when we take it all on again.
Yeah, beautiful. Looking forward to that. Next week, we're at Alton Park. We should see a better turnout. But in the meantime, folks, make sure you go check out all the current and former 31 seasons of Sunday Night Lights over there on the Top Split YouTube channel. Of course, here each and every Sunday night, you'll find us on Top Split TV on Twitch for the strongest racing in the new Formula Fords you'll find anywhere in town. And then, of course, join us at the Top Split Discord community. All the latest news and views for SNL, the latest results and all the stuff that goes on in the community over there. Good stuff. All right, folks, that might just about do us. Thanks, everyone, for hitting the like and subscribe and all those things at all those different places. It really does help us get the grassroots racing out there and known about, and hopefully get some new faces in here to go along with those old familiar favourites, which we get each and every week. But until next week, I'm Alex McKellar, and on behalf of the chaotic one, Mr. Corey Steinhauser, I will say ciao for now.